Okay. Let's
I
try.
think
Hello, everybody. I have a treat for you today. What if you started your school year with kindergartners who were English language learners and all but one were below benchmark or well below benchmark in reading? How would you feel about that? What would your expectations for the year be? Well, what if you didn't remain in that below benchmark category with your students, but you accelerated ahead and you saw improvements even outpacing what your curriculum guide is intending? That is what we're going to be sharing with you tonight with a master teacher, Jennifer Glueck. Hey, Jennifer.
Hi, hello.
We're so glad to have Jennifer back. If you are a Reading Simplified follower, you know Jennifer because she's really generous sharing her practice. She's discovered some Reading Simplified techniques, which has helped her to tweak mainstream curriculum and get really quick results. So this is the scenario that she found herself in this year, being a kindergarten teacher for the first time. Is that right?
Yes, first time.
Yeah, and she did a couple of tweaks, like one of our most popular activities we call Switch It. We're going to be talking a lot about that one tonight because it is part of a special event that we're hosting next week. So that's one of the reasons we have Jennifer on tonight. And so she did this activity just kind of on a whim, and boom, kids are starting to figure out how to read. And it was super exciting to see that, in August, right? Or early
Yeah.
September?
Yeah, it was early August.
Yeah.
We'd been
Oh my
in
gosh.
school for less than a week.
Yeah.
It was our
So
third day.
this is just a glimpse of what Jennifer's done. She's made a few minor tweaks that have rocketed her kids ahead, even though they started in what might be considered a real deficit position. But she didn't have that mindset, and she's moved them ahead. So I'm so honored to bring her in today. So welcome, everybody. I'm so glad to see people here saying hi. I'm Dr. Marnie Ginsberg from Reading Simplified, and it's our job to streamline reading instruction and accelerate students' reading achievement. And Jennifer is a teacher who's been rocking the Reading Simplified activities for a couple of years now. And so it's great to be able to share her story. We're going to share her story. She's also teaching virtually. I forgot to mention that. Is that a challenge or what? And we're going to show video examples of her doing these activities, minor tweaks that make the big difference for getting kids off on the road to reading. So I want to say hi to all of you and then let Jennifer say a little bit about how she came to be in this spot. So, hey, Catherine, and welcome, Stormy. She says, hello, my friend. So great to see you. Welcome, Padma, and Mim. And if you're getting, if you don't have your name here, it may be because you are not, you haven't given permission to StreamYard. That's the company that we're streaming with. So if you go to streamyard.com/Facebook, then I can put up your actual name and not what it says right here, Facebook user. So streamyard.com/Facebook to give permission for us to put your name in there. So Mim's here, and Melody, Mar, Jennifer Gilson, and awesome. And we've got, of course, our faithful folks from Australia. So welcome. All right. So enough of my introductions. Let's really give Jennifer a chance to tell us the story of this year. I think that's a great place to start, because it really exemplifies a lot about how little tweaks can make a big difference in solving some of the challenges that we're facing. Most of us who here doesn't have a bit of a gap that they're concerned about this school year. Jennifer faced that too. So we're going to let her share her story for this year, and then kind of go backwards in time about how she's implemented these tweaks in other years. And along the way, we're going to see some really great video of how she's doing this in a virtual setting. Okay, does that sound good? And Carrie says, we so need virtual help.
Yes.
So I'm really honored to bring Jennifer in to talk about these small tweaks that led to these breakthroughs. Okay, so Jennifer, tell us a little bit about this year.
Well, this year, like you said, it's my first year teaching kindergarten. I've been teaching first grade for the last 18 years. So this year I took a step down to kindergarten, wanted to get them before all those bad habits got put in there. But I knew coming in, that they were going to be really low. And they did testing at the beginning of the year and found out that, yes, most of my kids, except for the one, they don't know any letter names. They didn't know any sounds. They had no idea what letters even were. Yeah, there's the scores there. Most all of them were scoring 0 on Dibbles. No names, no sounds. They didn't know how to blend or segment words at all. So they were just really coming with absolutely nothing. And we have our phonics curriculum program that they're using at our school. It's a new school to me also. I not only switched grades, I switched to a brand new school. So I've been
as if COVID is not enough.
Oh yeah, this year has definitely been all first. But yeah, so then I had to also learn their new program, which is one that is used by many schools. It's widely recognized and known. But when I'm looking at the program and their curriculum map, I'm thinking now it just isn't going to work for me. They have me teaching a lot of focus on letter names and then also the sounds too, but mostly it's really focusing on letter names and handwriting. And the worst part is that I'm only supposed to teach these kids 2 letters a week, which meant that we wouldn't even be starting to blend or segment or read words at all for like 3 months. It would take us 12 weeks to get through all 26 letters of the alphabet. And that it wasn't even including like the TH and the SH and those other sounds that, they see every day.
Right.
So I knew this wasn't going to work for me. But I started the program just the way they prescribe in the curriculum. And I believe it was like the 3rd day of school of we had a 3-day pre-week where we were just getting to know each other, learning how to use the computer, because of course we are all virtually right now. And with kindergarten, that's a real struggle.
Who is doing kindergarten virtually right now? Oh my gosh, she's doing it all day long. It's not the best
6 hours,
suggestion from my vantage point, but she's juggling it. She's doing it. So there are bright lights coming out of this. So keep going, Jennifer.
Yes. You got to keep the kids moving. We do a lot of dance breaks. I have a lot of little dance videos that I've downloaded. Oh, yeah. No, I didn't send you any of those because, as my principal found out too, I dance with the kids. I'm not very good at it, but if you're just sitting there while the kids, that doesn't work. You got to get up and dance with them. So, he came walking down the hall one day. We have little narrow windows in our door, and I'm just dancing away, and all of a sudden I see this face in my door, and he's going like this. I was like, oh, I got caught. But yeah, 6 hours is a long day to keep these little ones engaged. So I got to pull out all the stops. And I knew going this slow through reading, it wasn't working for me. So yeah, like I said, I think it was the 3rd day of school, and they only knew 3 consonants. We'd learned T, B, and F, and that was it. But we'd been doing something the day before. I don't even honestly now remember what it was, but I discovered in that, I think I was reading them a story. I discovered that a lot of them, when they saw the letter A, they knew it said ah. And I hadn't
really interesting.
That. Yeah, you would think that would be a first sound that they would learn in this program, but it doesn't come for several weeks down the road. But since they knew it, I went ahead and ran with it. I said, well, we got 1 vowel. We have 3 consonants. So I just decided let's give it a try. Luckily, all my kids, as part of our program, they do have little magnetic boards that has all the letter tiles on it. And so I knew they had those at home as part of our curriculum. So I had them all get out their whiteboards, and we only had the 4 letters on there that we've learned so far. And we started with at, and then we went through, we did bat and fat and fab, and we just moved all those letters around. And they surprised me. They shocked me and amazed me, because I'm looking out at my screen, and they're all holding up their boards, and they're doing it, and they're telling me the words. And I thought that was just so amazing. And then we just started doing switch it pretty much every day after that.
So what Jennifer's talking about, we have the video that very first day when she decided, hey, if we have a vowel, we can actually read words. So she's going to be doing something, rocketing these kids ahead. She's still doing her curriculum, but the curriculum thinks that the kids can't handle looking at whole words for 3 months. And she's doing it the first or second week. And what the reason that she's able to get them to do that is that the activity helps them see how sounds and symbols connect.
Right.
It teaches them the alphabetic principle that our written languages code for sounds, It teaches them phonemic segmenting to pull those sounds apart so they can see how the sounds that they hear match up to those little squiggles. And it also teaches the letter sound. So all that compact into one, and suddenly they're like, oh, I get it. It's like revealing the way the system works. And a lot of our programs are dancing around how it works. We're going to teach you things in isolation for a long time and eventually get to how the code works. But this just says, hey, this is what it looks like. And guess what? These English language learners who were below benchmark or well below benchmark, that's what the pink is, well below benchmark with letter names, letter sounds, and phonemic segmentation. They did this in the first week or so of school. So it's not too hard for your children, right? And she even did it virtually. So it's, as Padma says, amazing stuff, Jennifer. So you guys want to see this video? Awesome. Okay. So, and Shannon says you switch it today. Way to go. So I'm going to try to show the video and let me know if the sound comes through. Yeah, here we go. This is an activity we call Switch It, but notice how it teaches the alphabetic principle, phonemic segmentation, letter sound knowledge, all of that packaged up into one thing. So kids get the code and then they learn all those things that she's explicitly teaching. And this is Jennifer just making this small tweak, not just letter sounds in isolation, but let's just put it all together and see what happens. Okay. So if you have friends that could benefit from getting your kids accelerated, you might want to tag them and let them know about this. We'll show a couple of videos like this of Jennifer's. Okay, here we go. Video one, let us know if the sound comes through.
I want you to listen very carefully because here's what we're going to do. I'm going to give you two sounds and I want you to put them in here. I want to make the word at. I am at school. I am at school. So let's listen to the sounds we hear. At. At. What sound do I need to put right here? There it is. Yes, Sebastian. Thank you. I love it. Sebastian told me I need my. What's the next sound? Oh, fabulous, Celeste. Fabulous. You got it, Sebastian. That's it. Very good, Andy. Yes, put it down there. Avery, which sound do we need? Yes, that's it. Wow, I want you to point to those letters and say those sounds. Ready? I know I can't hear you, but I'm watching to see if your mouths are moving. I'm watching to see your mouths moving. Ready? Show me. What is that word? Read that word for me. At. You just read a word. Yes, you just read a word. Nice. All right, listen carefully. I'm going to add a sound up here in the front. I want you to change at. Let's make it bat. Bat. I use my baseball bat to hit the ball. Bat. What sound do I need right here? At. At. You got it, Avery. Yes, Ellie. Yes. I knew you guys could do this. Yes, Sebastian. Fantastic. What sound do I need right here? Now, which one of these letters says B? See, this is why we're practicing. Yes. Oh, fabulous, Joaquin. Yes. B. At. Bat. Amazing. Amazing. All right. Ready? We're going to get tricky. I have bat. But I want to change it to say fat. My kitty Simone, she is really fat because she eats too much. I got to take away one of these sounds and put a new one in its place. How do I change bat? Good job, Andy. I see your bat. Now let's change it to fat. Santa Claus is fat. My kitty cat is fat. Maybe you know somebody who's a little fat. Un gordo. Un poquito gordo. How do I change bat to fat? Show me when you got it. Show me fat when you have it. What sound? That's it, Avery. Excellent. That's the right sound. Where are you going to put it? Show me where you're going to put it. Oh, Avery, big high five to you. High five, high five. Nice. Who else has it? Show me, show me. I want to hold those boards up. Let me see who's got it. Yes, Tamara's got it. Tamara's got it. Celeste, did you change bat to fat? I want fat. Andy, oh, yes, you still got bat. We need to listen carefully. I have b, at. And I want to change it to. Uh-oh, that doesn't sound like but anymore. I've got to change that one because I don't want but anymore. Now I want f, at, fat. Wow. If you got F-A-T for fat, I want you to pat yourself on the back. Say, I am so good. I am so great. All right, ready? I want to change fact to fab. Fab is short for fabulous. Yes. Wow, boys and girls, did you know? Look at this. First week of kindergarten, and you're already starting to read words all by yourself.
Isn't that awesome, you guys? I love how she ended it. This is the first time she's done that little tweak, having kids hear the sounds, map them onto the symbols on print, and move the sounds in and out. And they're already reading words the first week of kindergarten. It is so cool, isn't it? And it was just that little tweak. They were learning letter sounds in isolation, but she put them together and then had to move things in and out. And
I've found that's helped them to really learn the other sounds. I mean, that was like, say, the second or third week of August, and we have every sound on our board, including these two that we just added this last week. Whoops,
wow.
Wrong way. There it goes. They've now added all of these sounds, and they've learned them, I think, faster and easier and better because it's being learned in the context. It's not just a bunch of squiggly lines that don't mean anything to them. They actually have meaning, and it's helped them to learn the letter sounds faster.
And when the kids are know they're learning something and they're proud of it, then they're more likely to be engaged. She's doing a really good job of getting them engaged, because this is a super challenging situation. How many of you are supposed to do 100% virtual, where you're supposed to have all of your kids there at the same time? My recommendation, for those administrations who are listening, would be to have a lot of young people in small groups so we could work with them in 3s and 4s and 5s. But Jennifer doesn't have that option in her environment for various reasons. And so she has to teach the whole group. And of course she doesn't know 100% what everyone's doing all the time. I mean, this is just the reality of COVID instruction. But you can see a lot, right? What are you on that video? It probably isn't clear because she's actually got 2 screens. She's got the one with the video that's recording, and you can see a few kids, but then she can see all the rest of her kids on another screen. So tell us about that, and what are the cues that you're getting from the kids that way?
On my second screen, there's 21 students, so there's 21 of them up there. They're not real big squares, but you can see their excitement. They hold up the board and they'll shake it, because there's so many, I can't see them all, the minute they put it up. And they love it when I, call their name. You're like, wait, Avery, yes, you got it. Tamara, you got it. They get it. And you can see them, they pull their board down, big smile. They're just so proud of themselves. I think it was Padma said the smile is, oh yes, the look on their faces is just priceless. But I can see their boards. Some of the parents have actually, they turn the camera down so that I can see the table. So I can see the boards as they're actually working. But like you say, because they are magnetic boards, it's great. The kids, as soon as they move it, they can hold it up. The letters don't fall off. So I'm able to actually see what they have on there. So I can see that they are doing it. And I'd say 90% of them were actually engaged in doing it. You've always got a few that are sitting in a dark room and all you see is a shadow. And then the ones who, that's the interesting part about kindergarten. They ask to go to the bathroom. 2 hours later, they finally come back.
Oh, hello. Welcome back.
Oh, where did you go? Did you get lost? There's always those few, but I would say 90% or more, they're definitely engaged. They just switch it is so great. It's a game. To them, it's a game. They don't realize that they're learning. And that's what makes it so wonderful. Like you say, they get all those different skills that they're learning and practicing, and they don't even know it. They just think they're playing a fun game.
Yeah. And then lo and behold, they're reading words. And we're going to show you some videos of them actually reading words. And she's got them in books too. They're reading early decodable readers with a lot of teacher support, which is what we recommend at Reading Simplify. We want to throw our kids in the deep end, but there's no danger involved. We're getting them right into the real world of reading words, reading books, getting the holistic picture of what reading is while we're simultaneously teaching them the code, and everything fits together more quickly for them. So Jennifer discovered this one small tweak of Switch It, where it's not just teaching letter sounds in isolation. It's not just teaching segmenting, but it's also putting those things together in real words and manipulating, asking the children to do that hard stuff of how do you change fat to fab. That's hard. There's a lot of steps that the child has to go through to do that. So she discovered that in our Level Up Your Readers Achievement Challenge. It's a 5-day challenge, and we've been doing this for several years. We haven't done one in a while, but I'm excited to be bringing it back next week. And I wanted Jennifer to rewind the camera to when she first discovered this, because you had a background in, first of all, I forgot to mention, Jennifer is an award-winning teacher. She's the English Language Learner Teacher of the Year in Arizona.
Yes. In 2011.
So, and she's been teaching systematic phonics programs for a while. She knows how to teach reading, and yet she was still hitting some walls, and she discovered just this one activity in our Level Up event. So I want Jennifer to tell us that story about how this one particular activity was the tweak that made some difference. And then we'll talk about other tweaks and see more video. But go ahead and tell us that story, Jennifer.
Yeah, it was, I think, almost 2 years ago now. And I was teaching my first grade ELL students. And there's always that handful of students in your class that you just can't reach. And these were students who have been going to reading intervention all year long. And I believe that the challenge when you did it was like March. So it's getting close to the end of the year here. And a friend of mine had forwarded your Facebook post to me. And I thought, sure, why not? I'm always looking for ways to make things better. And these kids, it was just so hard for me. It was about 6 of them, 5 or 6. I just, no matter what I tried, I couldn't get through to them. And so I signed up for the challenge, and I started doing it with the small group of little boys and girls. And I was just amazed at it. It was like you say, the light bulb clicks. For a lot of them, that's all it takes. Once they figure out what they're supposed to do with those little lines, all of a sudden it all makes sense to them. And I did it with them. And by the end of the year, our year ended early that year. We had some issues here in Arizona. I'm not sure if any of you are familiar. We had a strike that year where we were out of school for several weeks. So that kind of cut my time off too with them. But even with the short amount of time I had with them, I'd finally gotten through to them. The reading intervention teacher was like, "What did you do?" Because all of a sudden it was just like this small group of boys and girls who had no idea what reading was, all of a sudden they were reading. And I loved it. I fell in love with the program. I've been using it ever since. I've been hooked. I joined the academy, and this will be my 3rd time now doing the reading challenge, because I'm going to do it again, because it's so great. And I'm hoping maybe I can get some of my other teachers, now that I'm at a new school, get them involved in it as well. But yeah, I can't say enough about how amazing switch it is. Like I say, so many kids, they come in, you think about it, if they have no exposure to reading, all those little lines, the letters, they don't know what those are. It's just like, say, it's like drawing lines in the dirt. They have no idea that they mean something. One thing that helped this year too in my kindergartners is that we did in social studies a thing about symbols, map symbols. So I clung onto that word when it came to letters. I said, this letter, this T, it's a symbol. What it stands for and what it says is T. And so I try to really put the emphasis on sounds. And that's helped, because the kids, they have to understand that these are just symbols. But I tell my kids, they talk to us. When they talk to us, what do they say? And so, switch, it really helps kids to make that connection. That these are letters. They're not just random lines. They're letters, and they mean something. They're symbols for something else. And so that's really helped.
So that's what we're inviting you to do. What Jennifer did was join this free challenge. We give you the resources to do this activity, and then you just try the one activity. You can literally spend as little as 5 minutes trying, just moving a few words in and out, just about as brief as that video that you saw. And then you can see what happens to your children. It is so amazing, because you were teaching before that. You were teaching reading words. You were teaching them sounds in isolation. You were trying to get them to probably write, and it just wasn't.
Word families, the whole bit. It just nothing was sticking. Nothing was sticking.
So Jesse wants to know if you've tried a digital letter board yet.
Oh, like the reading online one?
I guess so. Yeah.
I did that last year, at the end of last year, when we first switched to remote learning. This year I haven't had to, because my kids have these great magnetic boards that it works better when they can manipulate that. The kinesthetic learners, especially, that really helps them, being able to physically move them around.
Yes, it's fun.
So no, I haven't used the new one yet, although we will be back in the classroom, yay, starting next week. And I'm planning on using the Switch It Online board up on the big screen, and maybe even let the kids come up and take turns being the ones to move the letters. I think that'll really help with the engagement as well.
That's fun. Well, I will show that. For those of you who are members of the Reading Simplified Academy, we have this new opportunity to play Switch It, the game you just saw, but play it online. And so this is for members of the Academy if you want, and I will try to figure out how to show it. Let's see. Stop screen, share screen. Well, I think I got to move something over here, just like Jennifer has. There we go. How about this?
Technology, it's the worst.
Well, you got your two screens when you teach, right? And that's how you're making it all happen. So let's, where is that? Switch it online. Okay, here we go. So yeah, you could build, what did she had? I think she had fat. And she only had a few letter sounds. I was impressed with all the words that she came up with. What were some of the others? Did you have cat or sat?
No, because we only had B, F, and T. So we did bat and fat and at, and then we did fab and I wrote them down so I'd remember because any combination I could make, because there's only 3 letters, and I know others have asked that before. Well, how can you do it if they only know a few? As long as they got one vowel, you can make words. You just need one vowel.
Yes, I love that. That is really, really an important point. As long as you know one vowel, you can make and manipulate and spell and read words. And Jennifer has taken that one tweak and run with it. Isn't that cool? Okay, so this is Switch It Online. Those of you who are Reading Simplified Academy members, you can get into that. And we're going to be opening up for those people who want to join and learn more about this whole system. Switch It is a super important part of it, but it is just one part. And let's get into some of these other tweaks then. Speaking of that, Jennifer, I think I have these videos of Jennifer doing Read It, another one of our core activities, and then even having kids read real books. So what would you say about those? How did those fit into what you've done to make them move along so rapidly?
Once I realized they had the segmenting, because we'd been doing Switch It successfully for a few weeks, and I knew we had more sounds now that we knew under our belt. So then I went looking for the very short decodable readers. And we used the I Am story. That was the first story they ever read.
Oh, I didn't know that. Very cool.
Yeah, that was our first story. We read I Am. And they just thought that was so cool that they had a book with, pictures in it. It was a virtual book because I had to assign. We used Teams at our school. So I made it an assignment. I copied it in there, put little circles on the top. They had to read it to 3 people and color the little circle each time they read. But yeah, they took it home and they read it. And then after that, we went to the one, I know it's not called Mad Cat, but that's what we called it, the Mad Cat one.
Yep.
The cat that's mad because the man wants his hat.
Yeah. That's the Reading Simplified Academy passage. Yep. Know it.
Yeah. That was our second one. But yeah, once I realized they could do the Switch It, then I introduced, I kind of got ahead of myself there. Before we did the stories, we did Read It because I wanted them to learn how to blend first. And once we were doing the blending and they were getting better and better at the blending, that's when we introduced the books, which was maybe about 3 weeks ago. We actually started reading the text.
Okay.
Before that, we were doing Switch It, and then I added the Read It in. We did that for a few weeks, Switch It and Read It together. And then I've now folded in the reading and the rereading, and they are just so excited that they have books. They just think that's cool that they actually have books to read. Like I said, confidence is a big thing with them. Once you get their confidence, that's their motivation. And they all get so excited. Yeah.
They know what they're doing. And so they know they're doing well, and it just feeds back into that positive loop. Okay, so Switch It was teaching alphabetic principle, segmenting, manipulating the letter sounds, but then you got to still figure out how to put the sounds together and blend it. And so Jennifer's teaching that in Read It. Now this video, I don't have the same capability to link it to my software, so I'm a little more concerned about how we're going to how it's going to work. So give me a second to fiddle around with sound so that you guys can hear it. Okay, so I'm going to, this is Read It. Again, she's doing this 100% virtually. And if you can write in the comments, if you can hear it, let us know. If not, I'll change my settings. Okay, so there is Read It. And Jennifer and I might be hiding in a second. We'll see what happens. So I'm going to start it at the beginning. And we've got 2 screens going, so you can see kind of what she's showing them in 2 different ways. It's great that she's got both, but don't let it confuse you. The bottom left is like the top camera angle, and then the other one up on the top is the direct recording of the how she streamed. Okay, so let's see if the sound works. Can you hear it, Jennifer?
No, I don't hear anything.
Okay.
I can't hear it. Yeah.
Okay. All right. There you go. So first, she's saying you got to put your hands together so you can read. So I'm going to change some settings. I might need to pull my headphones out. Go back to settings, external microphone, built-in microphone. Sorry, guys. So I'm trying to, it's a speaker, really. I've got like 5 choices. So we're going to try this one. Okay. And actually, I'm going to go away no sound, Padma says. Let me know. We're going to go away and we'll try the sound again. Sorry.
Yeah.
Figure this out. I figured this out before, but now the settings seem different. So I'm sorry, you guys. But do you see how she's getting them all prepped? So let's try another. Okay, I'm going to pull up my headphones.
Now we can't hear you either. Can't hear you. Still no sound, Marnie.
Here we go. Now can you hear me?
Now we can hear you.
I'm trying buttons everywhere, and then there's a little button that says unmute. I didn't see that one. You guys, I'm so sorry. But I still am a little bit lost for how to get the sound of this video, but it's so good. Can you see how good it is? I'm so sorry. I think I'm going to try different technology next time. My other technology allows for, let's try stereo audio. Echo cancellation. Okay. Here we go.
Give me a thumbs up. When you can read that word, give me a thumbs up. Ellie, we're not writing. We're reading. Ellie, put your pencil down. Pencil down. Right now, our job is to read. When you can read it, give me a thumbs up. Oh, Avery thinks she knows it. Alondra thinks she knows it. Mike knows it. Nathaniel knows it. Noel knows it. Wow. Mike, can you read this word for us, Mike? What does it say?
Zip.
Zip. Yes, way to go, Mike. I love it. Everybody, did you get zip? Thumbs up if you agree with Mike and you got zip. Did you get zip? Let's check our sounds. Zzz. Eh. P. Zzz. Eh. P. Now you write it. Now you write it. Sebastian, now you got to write it all by yourself. Erase it, now write it.
What's the last one?
Say your sound as you write it. As you say the first sound, write it. Say zzz. Zzz. Then say eh. Eh. And then p.
How you do it?
P.
Ready?
Say it as you write it, boys and girls. Say it as you write it. Say those sounds. Remember, I've talked to you about this before. When I see it, and I say it, and I hear it, it gets stuck in my brain. You got to say it every time. Nice, Mike. Very good, Alex. Sebastian's got Avery. You got an extra sound at the end. You wrote zipper. I like that. But our word was zip. Alondra's got it. Celeste's got it. Ellie's got it. Nathaniel's got it. Wow, amazing. Good job, boys and girls. Fabulous. Tell me again, what was this word? What is it? Zip. 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 Get your eraser. One sound at a time. One sound at a time. Say the sound as you erase it. Zzz. See how I did that? Yeah. One sound at a time. P. Zzz. P. I say the sounds as I erase them. Fabulous. All right. Then put your markers down. Put your hands like this. Hands like this. I don't want you writing when it's time to read. We'll write when we're done, but first we got to read. So put your hands like this. Because I don't want you writing. Your job right now is to read. Here we go. Ready? When you know this word, give me a thumbs up. When you know what this says, give me a thumbs up. You're not writing. You're reading. When you're done reading, you give me a thumbs up. Give me a thumbs up when you're done reading it. Luna, we're not writing, honey. Luna, 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 your job is reading, not writing. Put your marker down, honey. Put your marker down. Let's see, who knows what this word is? Oh, Nathaniel thinks he knows. Alondra knows. Avery knows. Noel knows it. Does Sebastian know it? Oh, his sister thinks he knows it, but he doesn't want to put his hand up. Jocelyn, we're not writing, honey. Not yet. First, we got to read it, sweetie. We got to read it, then we're going to write it. Alondra, can you help us, please? What is this word? Oh, let's see if she's right. How many of you agree? She says it says pet. Is she right? Say our sounds with me. P. Let's see if I cover that up and go pet. I think she's right. It says pet. Pet. Write it. Write it for me. Say the sounds as you write it. See, boys and girls, the idea is you're writing it after I cover it up. I cover it up, and then you say the sounds and write it. This is how our brains learn. If you...
I love how she's pointing out to the children why they're doing what they're doing. And she's telling, this is how you're going to learn it, is connecting those sounds with those symbols. And this is linking the stuff in their brain over here on the left side. And then they are reading words. So pretty cool, you guys. So this is a tweak. You probably wouldn't have been doing this with the mainstream curriculum. That's not called for in October, right?
No, not until probably middle of November.
Yeah. And then the blend as you read technique was a really important part of moving them along, because remember her initial phonemic awareness scores were really low for this group of kids. So blending is hard for kids who don't have good phonemic awareness. And so she's coaching that strategy here as well. And Lisa says that was such a great video. It was indeed. And so this is both in isolation, switch it by itself and read it by itself, and then she's moving them into real text. But they're still struggling. They can't read a lot of words. So what's been your approach for, pushing them or gently and shoving them into real text, Jennifer?
Well, they're excited and wanting to get into text. And just showing them how to put them together. It's hard.
Do I have feedback now?
No, I can hear myself through your computer.
Sorry. Okay. Oh,
That's okay.
I'll put my sound down. There we go. Is that better?
Yeah, there you go. Okay. I was having a hard time remembering what I was going to say.
Sorry, I was just asking you, how do you get them to read a whole text if they're barely able to read one word?
Yeah, it does take right now a lot of support. I'm right there with them, helping them along the way, making sure that they know. They've learned too in my class that I've told them over and over again, I will never ever get mad at them if they get something wrong. But if they just sit there and don't try, that's what really gets me here. So they know to try. They're not afraid to try. and there's always me or another student that's there that can help them.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, it's a process of building up that stamina because one word is hard enough. So yeah, the first couple times we read, I was doing a lot of the reading with them following along.
Right.
And then I slowly had them reading more and more of the words themselves instead of me reading it to them. Right. And I think that's helped make a big difference. Yeah.
Yeah. So in this footage, we're going to see an example of one of Jennifer's earliest texts she's given the kids. And you can see, you'll see a little snippet of the first read through. So she's reading to them. Her cursor is highlighting it, and she's exaggerating sounds like, I don't know, like can't or sat. So she's doing that to try to draw their attention to the sounds and words, but she's doing the heavy lifting, right? By reading the words. And that's okay for this stage because they're in a book and it's legit reading. But then she reads it back to them gradually. And then at the end, they're you can hear them reading it. They're reading the book, a lot of them. And tell us about what you think. You know, again, it's hard to tell with Zoom. Not Zoom, but Microsoft Teams when you got everybody on a screen. But tell us about how you think in general at this point they're doing, and you'll soon know more when you get in person.
Yeah. I'd say 80 to 90% of them are actually reading and not just listening to me and copying. It's like Marty says, because they're online, it's really hard for me to know how much they're doing and how much their parents are doing for them. But just watching them on the screen, seeing what they're doing and listening to them, I believe 80 to 90% of them are reading this all on their own without any extra help from mom or dad.
Okay, so here's some selections from Jennifer reading the first time through, and then a little later you'll see after there's been the repetition that some of the kids are starting to voice their own reading. And again, let's pray that the sound works.
Can't hear them.
All right, let's try this again. We'll remove that stream. Stop screen. We'll try new share screen. And okay, but I got to change my audio again. Stereo. It's in stereo.
Do you maybe need to turn it up? Remember, you turned it down for me. You might need to turn it.
This story, because I know all of us in here like cats and dogs. This story is about a cat. Her name is Pam, and all she ever wants to do is take a nap. She just wants to sleep all day. No matter where she is, she wants to take a nap. So let's read this story and see how she takes a nap wherever. Here's the name of it. Look up here. Pam. You know that word. That was in our other story.
It's me, Ellie.
Pam likes to, there's another new word for us. To nap. Pam likes to nap. Okay, boys and girls. I'm going to read. I want you to follow along. See if you can read the words while I read the words. Okay? Pam likes to nap. And there's Pam. Look at her. She's sleeping. She's just a big, fat, lazy cat. I know you know these words. I am Pam. I am Sam's cat. Read those words with me. I am Pam. I am Sam's cat. So here's Pam, and here's Sam. Ooh, I wonder where they're going. Where are they going? Can anybody tell? Where's he going? Look around. Where do you think they're going? Nathaniel, where do you think they're going?
They're going camping.
I think so too. How many of you think that Pam and Sam are going camping? Yeah? I think so too. Now, Nathaniel, how did you make that guess? What were your clues? How do you know?
Because there's big trees.
Oh, you're right. There are big trees. But you know what? I might have big trees in my park. What else lets me know that they're going camping? Alondra, how do you know they're going camping? Or do you think they're going camping?
The backpack.
Oh, yeah. Check out his backpack here. Look, it's got a little sleeping bag, and that looks like a tent. All right, let's see what happens when Pam and Sam go camping. I like to nap. Who said that? Did Sam say that or did Pam say that? Who said that? I like to nap. Who you think's talking? Amelia, who do you think that was? Was that Sam or was that Pam who says, I like to nap?
The dad.
The dad? You think Sam likes to nap? Did he say, I like to nap?
Dad.
Oh, the cat. Yeah, look at the cat. I think that's why Sam brought the skateboard. Hard to ride a skateboard out in the woods, but I think he brought it for Pam to sleep on. Look at Pam. She's just laying out on that skateboard. And Sam can just push her along and roll her along the ground. I like to nap, said Pam. Cats like, bless you, cats like naps. Wow. All right, read this one with me. Ready? Read it with me. I like to nap.
I like to nap.
There you go. Cats like naps.
Like nap.
I love it. I can see Joaquin reading and Sebastian reading and Ellie. I can see Celeste and Alondra helping me read. I love it. Everybody helping me read. Fantastic. All right, let's see what happens. Let's go to the next one. You're going to go back here. We're going to read it. Because tonight, I want you to read this story to Mom and Dad. I bet Mom and Dad would love this story. I bet they'd think that cat was funny. Funny. All right, ready? You're going to read it with me. Here we go. Everybody ready? Oh, and I'm looking to see who's helping me read. I saw a lot of friends helping me read right now. I heard a lot of you. What was it? Oh, yeah, I heard Alondra's voice big and loud. I heard Haley's voice. I heard Ellie helping me. I saw Avery trying to help me. Oh, yeah, Joaquin, he was helping me read a lot of words. Here we go. What does it say?
Pam.
Nap. Pam likes to nap. I love it. All right, eyes over here. Help me read it. What does it say? You can read this one. What does it say? Turn on this microphone. Tell me out. What does it say? I Wow, see, now I like this. Now I'm seeing more of my friends helping me read. I love it. I am Pam. I am Sam. Cat. Now, somebody read these words. What does this word say? What's he doing to his cat? What does it say?
So awesome, isn't it? I'll turn my
It's hard when they all get talking at once because the microphones cut each other off. And that's one of the reasons why I read it to them first and I tell them turn off their mic. I just want to make sure they can all hear it. Because when some of them want to help me right from the very beginning, they want to start reading as soon as I do. But then the others can't hear. So that's why I'm excited to be in the classroom where I will let them hopefully do more of the initial reading rather than me reading it to them that first time. I'm hoping they will be able to read it to me. And I'll just be there to help them if they get stuck.
Yeah, Jennifer's making a modification partly because of virtual and partly because they're just so young and they're reading lives, right? Remember, they started in kindergarten well below expectations in letter names and letter sounds and phonemic awareness. So all of those things are the hallmarks of getting off to a good start in reading. And she turned that on its head by just these few tweaks that we've seen today, right? So they now know
all the basic code, like all the consonants and short vowels, and even some digraphs, right?
Yes, they have got the TH and the CK. We just did those last week.
That's so fun. And then some of them are reading the whole sentence. Some of them are maybe reading just some words, and some of them are going to be close to it. And certainly when they're back in school, it will start to coalesce for them because they have gotten closer to real reading in this environment with all the challenges of not being maybe native to the English language, having to be on the computer a whole day. All these things. It's so exciting to see how she's turned it around. And even though there's huge challenges, that it's still quite successful already.
I know we had our parent-teacher conferences last week, just before we left for fall break. And so many of the parents had commented they were just amazed at that the children were reading and able to do that. They didn't think that they could. You know, they've got older siblings who they weren't reading in their first month of kindergarten, and yet here these little ones are. So they were very happy and very surprised too. So,
and when they show up their board for read it, and they've written, you can see their handwriting too. They're working on writing, and they have got good formation. So she's all that stuff that's in the curriculum is still getting communicated. They're pulling it off, but it's just that they're also moving forward into real reading because. Switch it and then read it, and then, you know, having the modeling of real reading. She's doing that shared or that buddy reading where she's doing most of the heavy lifting, but then there's so much repetition that they start to get it. And then by the end you could hear, right? There was quite a lot of voices saying, you know, the different lines, I am Sam and whatnot. So it's super exciting. It all began because she tried one activity, Switch It, which is what we kicked off today with. And so I want you to make sure, if you haven't tried that you join our Level Up Your Reader's Achievement in 5 Days challenge. This is where we just show that one activity, Switch It, and you get to test it out. You also get to see how a boy that I work with progresses in just 5 days with just the one activity. And so it's like a little modeling, but mostly it's exciting for you to test it out. And I love it when veterans like Jennifer and other folks who are here in the house that know Switch It like the back of their hand, they also join the challenge, and we can be in a Facebook group and encourage one another and support one another and celebrate our wins. And we're going to have prizes too. So it's great fun. Mim says, go Jennifer, and thank you. Way to go is Reading Simplified. Once Reading Simplified cuts through the fluff and gets kids into real reading. Once again, yes, that's the whole point. There's so much that we could be doing, and all of it is good, but what's going to be the most powerful way to get them into real reading? I think you saw it here with these 3 simple videos, little tweaks, not that different from what the curriculum calls for, but it made a big shift in the outcomes, right? Because these kids would not even be reading real words yet. No. They wouldn't know all these letter sounds, and certainly their phonemic awareness would not be this strong. No. If they can switch, you know, fab to tab and all those, that's pretty impressive. And that was like the first day. So they figured it out. They were making some huge gains. Linda says, I hope my ELS students can do this do as well this year. Yes, absolutely.
They will if you try this. They will if you do this.
So make sure you join. Greg, if you can put the link for the challenge, make sure you're joining it, whether you're new to Reading Simplified or you are a veteran. We want to bring everyone together to share. We have people doing this one activity all over the world. It's super exciting to see the growth. We have kids learn 5, 10, in my video, it'll be like 15 letter sounds in 1 week because this activity is that powerful. So that's cool. And we promised also a winner tonight. So Greg, I'm giving you all these things to give us. There's how to join for the challenge. And then if you could also give us our winner from those who commented, we get to pick a winner. And then I want Jennifer to tell us some of the things that she saw those first couple years when she's done these Reading Simplified tweaks. Because I remember a couple of pretty cool things. Like last year, I remember it was so exciting about the kids doing chapter books. And hey, Padma, yay! She is a Reading Simplified Pro in India. It's so cool to have people from all over the world. So she totally deserves to win. Here we go. What does she win? Hey, a set of Steal It games. If you already have that, Padma, text with Greg or he'll Facebook message you to make sure you can get something you don't already have. But that's Steal It is a really fun game to trick kids into reading more words. So thanks for being here, Padma, and for your comments. And everybody says congratulations. Okay. I forgot to mention, Greg, thanks for putting that in there. If you don't have kids with those cool magnetic boards for moving these tiles, maybe you want to do something and you need to do it virtually, you can use some free Google Slides that we've set up. And so there's a link for that. So anyone can get that free. But of course, if you're a member of the Reading Simplified Academy, we also have something else that's pretty cool. If I can find it, switch it online, see if that shows. Yeah, there you go. So that's another possibility for members. But Jennifer, tell us about some of those things you saw in those first couple of years when you've made these tweaks that aren't seemingly that big, but they make a big difference with outcomes.
Oh, yeah, it is huge. I used to do the Making Words, the Patricia Cunningham. I've got her books, and I used to do the Making Words. But the difference between that and what we do here is, in that one, I was telling them which sound to switch and which letter to move, and just asking them to read, well, what's the new word we made? And, you know, your program helped me see that they need to be the ones to hear which sound they need to change and where to move it. That manipulating of the phonemes, that's what is the key. And that made a huge difference for a lot of them. So I don't know why I never did it that way before. You know, once you learn the system, it makes so much sense. And it's like, how did I never think of that before? Mm-hmm. And it's amazing how it never occurs to you until you actually see it in action. And then it's like, oh, that's why it works. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, we're only getting more recently knowledgeable about how not only is phonemic awareness so important, but even how that advanced version of it, the manipulating, how that seems to be a real issue, a real sign of skilled reading. And that's kind of how kids are processing the code. That's how they get that aha. Oh, now I get what you've been talking about. Like I said, we're not going to dance around it, but we're going to get straight to it. So I remember how you had, I think it was last year, you had kids reading chapter books in October in first grade. You'd never had that before, even though you were doing great work before. But this just kind of, pushed them a little further than you'd exceed.
Yeah. That one year I had it was a real challenging class because I had a combined first and second grade class. And there was a group, and these were first graders, not second graders, that were my higher readers. And they were reading chapter books before Christmas, and they just thought that was so cool. They each took home their own chapter book at Christmas over vacation to read, and then they brought it back and they all read it to me. And they were just so proud of themselves. When you put a book in the hands of these little ones, and they see themselves as readers, just the pride they feel and their confidence just goes crazy. Mm-hmm. And that just opens the door to everything else because then they're really open to learn. Yeah.
So I hope you guys can give Jennifer some love if you haven't yet. It's really great that she's so generous with her time. And also she shares these videos because it's so inspiring to see what's going on behind someone else's doors, right? You get you get inspiration that way. And so we're so grateful for Jennifer always being such a great supporter. And I just want to encourage all of you out there, join that challenge if you haven't already. Look at what Jennifer, she was an award-winning teacher who just is still looking out for more professional learning. We can always get better. And now this year, we probably need it more than ever. Although, yes, take care of yourself. Make sure you're not overextending yourself. But part of what may renew your feelings about your instruction is if you find some activities that are more efficient so that you can catch these kids up, because we're probably all feeling that pressure. Mm-hmm. So Mar says, thank you. And Jordan says, I love seeing them transform into readers. Make sure you guys sign up for Level Up. Carrie Ann says, thank you. And I'm sorry for those comments I kind of missed, but I really appreciate all of you guys being here. And we can't wait to join you for the Level Up Your Readers Achievement Challenge next week. Jennifer will be there. And it starts Monday, 8 p.m. Eastern Time. Right here on this Facebook channel. So sign up. It's free. You get some resources to make it all work out. And Linda says she's been away from school on sick leave and losing confidence. So this is great to watch. Yes, I want to help you guys feel inspired. So
Yeah,
Thanks
this program
again,
is great.
Jennifer.
It's great for the kids, but it's also great for you because Marnie makes it so easy to lesson plan.
Oh, right.
Everything is right there.
Good.
I spend less time planning for my small groups than I ever did before because she makes everything so easy. So yeah, definitely check it out.
Well, I'm so grateful, Jennifer, and I'm grateful to you guys. See you soon. I hope to see you all Monday. Bye-bye.
Bye.